And welcome to the Big Bang.
The science show that's always searching for the answers.
And it's full of great ideas for making your own inventions. I'm Michael.
And I'm Kate, and first, as always, we've got a puzzle. What have you got for me?
Well, take a look at this, right? Now, this is my polystyrene balls puzzle. Okay, now what I've done is I've just hung 2 polystyrene balls here from this piece of wood. What you've got to do is try and make them move apart and stay apart just by using this plastic pea shooter.
OK, now I reckon you want me to use that to blow in between the balls. But I know that blowing in between them will actually make them move together. Ha-ha.
She's good. So, why does that happen then?
Well, OK, the faster air moves, the lower the pressure. So blowing in between the balls makes the pressure lower in the middle, yeah? So the air outside the balls is higher pressure and pushes them together.
OK, well done. So you spotted the red herring that I had hidden in there for you. But do you know the real solution?
Not sure. Can I have a clue?
Well, I could give you a clue, but then I'd have to charge you for it.
Charge me? I'm not paying. Bit tight.
Have a think about it, and I'll tell you the solution at the end of the show.
OK, imagine you're going to throw a party for all your mates. Now, where are you going to put all your sweets and treats? You could just put them in bowls and on plates like these.
But let's face it, that's far too boring for the Big Bang. What you want is one of these. Yes, the Archimedes screw sweet machine. Now, all you do is just turn this handle, the sweets go around the spiral, and then just drop out the top. Whoa!
Lovely,
You're right
thank you.
there.
Yeah. Now, it's called the Archimedes screw because it was invented by a Greek scientist called Archimedes over 2,000 years ago. And it's such a clever idea that it's still used today.
Now, if you'd like to make a sweet machine like this, follow me over here, because what you're going to need is a 3-litre drinks bottle like this one. You need to start by cutting the bottom off. Now, the main core is from a kitchen roll which sits on this small drinks bottle lid, which I've just stuck to the bottom. Now, we need to get a bit more support in there, so take your bottle and a piece of card and draw around it with a pen. There you are, so you've got a nice circle. Then get your kitchen roll, place it in the middle, and draw around that, like there. Then just cut it out, and you should be left with this donut shape, and that sits in the base, just over the top of your bottle lid. Then we put the pieces together, you can see how it all holds up. So the platform's in place, but you want to make holes so you can get the sweets in and get the sweets out. So grab your pen again, and the first hole we're going to make is just above the platform, and that's so the sweets can go in. And then on your top piece, you need to make another arch shape, I think roughly about here. And that, so your sweets can fall out. Then grab your scissors again, cut out those holes, and then you've got your little doors to get your sweets in and out.
That cardboard tube is going to be the centre of your spiral screw. First, you need to leave a gap of about 3 centimetres from the top, and that's where your sweeties are going to go in and out. Then, from that point, you need to start with your compass, making holes all the way along the spiral, and you want your holes to be about 1 centimetre apart. Now, you might be wondering what the holes are for. They're to put our cocktail sticks into, which are going to be the frame for the whole screw. Now, you'll need to trim the cocktail sticks down so the screw assembly fits snugly into the bottle. There we go, perfect snug fit. Now, all that's left for me to do is finish off the remainder of the holes, fill them with cocktail sticks, and then it's ready for a bit of weaving.
What you need to do first is tie a knot, like this one I've tied here, on the top cocktail stick, and then work your way all the way round. And I'm not doing too badly on this one, just going in and out, in and out, in and out. When you have done that, you'll end up with this. It's a completed screw, and it's ready to now be placed inside your bottle. Now, what's really important as you're doing this is to make sure that the bottom of the ramp lines up with the hole that you cut into the bottom of your base. And when you put the top on, lower that over the top, you need to make sure that the ramp here is just over the hole so that the sweets can then escape. Then all you need to do is stick it together with tape nice and firmly.
Now, to make a stand for your machine, you're going to need a couple of these really big water bottles. Now, this one is going to be the container for all the sweets. So what I've done is cut off the top third once again. So pop that to one side, turn this on its side, and then get the screw, because we need to cut a hole in this to slide the screw into. So if I just rest that on the side, and then get a pen and just draw quite roughly, it doesn't have to be mega accurate, all the way around. Lovely. There we go. So the next step is to cut that out. Now, this plastic's really quite tough, so it's a bit difficult. You might need some help from somebody. But when you do get round to it, this is what you'll get. And you can see, perfect hole that if I get my screw, it should slot beautifully into. To guide the sweets into the screw, you'll need a funnel, and this comes from part of the neck of another large water bottle. So I can turn that up, and we're almost ready to roll. Time to put the lid on, though, before we put the sweets in.
OK.
OK, can you hold that for me?
Yeah.
And just tape that securely into position. There we are. The last bit around the front. And then just to make sure that it doesn't topple over once we fill it with sweets, I'm going to put a groovy shoelace around the top. There we go. We can fill it with sweets there, put the lid on, and give it a couple of turns. Oh, it works brilliantly. Thank you.
No problem. My favourite bit of the make, though, is putting the sweets in. That's what we all want. Now, I've crammed these full of loads of different sweets so that when you turn the handle, you don't know what you're going to get. Oh.
Oi, they're my favourites, you greedy Santa. Today's big question is, what's the longest time you can spend underwater? Well, if you're just holding your breath, then probably not that long at all. In fact, most people can't even hold their breath for a minute. But this is Lee Donnelly. He's a UK champion breath hold diver. Now, Lee can hold his breath underwater for up to 5 minutes. Don't believe me?
But even breath hold divers like Lee can't stay down long enough to really explore the amazing world under the sea. So people invented ingenious ways of staying underwater without having to hold their breath.
Legend says the first person to go diving was a Greek called Silas, who lived over 2,000 years ago. He escaped from a ship and hid from enemy soldiers by using a hollow reed to breathe underwater.
The prisoner's escaped.
He was here a minute ago.
What's that reed then?
Oh, that's nothing. It's just a reed.
Forget it. Tea break, lads.
All right, then, tea break.
Now that was the first snorkel, but the problem with snorkels is you can't go very deep. Because the weight of the water pressing on your body increases the deeper you get, making it harder and harder to breathe air from the surface. So snorkels aren't much use for working deep underwater. But for ages, nobody could come up with, well, anything better.
Then, about 1,500 years ago, divers started to use a brilliant yet terrifying invention called the diving bell. Now, this meant that divers were able to breathe underwater inside huge wooden or glass bells filled with air. Now, because the bells were open at the bottom, the deeper they went, the more water came inside, and that pushed the air into a smaller and smaller space.
The divers had to take down leather bags of air into the bell because the tiny compressed air inside it would only last a few minutes.
So divers had to come out of the bell to work and then go back in to breathe.
Finally, 50 years ago, Jacques Cousteau, a famous French underwater explorer, invented this, the aqualung.
So divers could carry compressed air on their backs in these really heavy tanks.
Now, the clever invention is this. Now, it's called a demand valve, and it only lets air out when you breathe in, which was perfect for Cousteau because he loved to study marine life, and by inventing the aqualung, he was able to swim underwater for up to an hour. Hang on a minute. Isn't Lee still in the tank?
Oh, he is. Let's have a look. Yeah, still going strong. Now, just before we get Lee to come up, I want to stress that you must not try this at home, OK? Because people have died from holding their breath even in a bath.
Now, the reason that Lee can hold his breath for so long is that he's trained himself over several years to control his breathing.
Shall I give him the thumbs up?
Good idea, come on. Right, let's stand back. Let's stand like it's splashing. Hello?
Hello! Hi, well done. That was brilliant. Could you have stayed down for much longer?
Maybe a little bit longer.
What's your longest that you've ever managed to stay under for?
My personal best is about 6 minutes.
That's pretty impressive.
Very
isn't it?
impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah, well done. Good effort.
I think I'll stick with the modern aqualung, though, because Cousteau had the right idea.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to swim underwater, you're going to need the help of some modern technology.
Yes, make sure you join a professional diving club and get all the proper training and equipment. All the information's on the Big Bang website. Oh, he's off. Thanks, Lee.
Right then, Kate, have you managed to solve my puzzle yet?
No, and stop smiling because I'm not paying you a penny.
What do you mean? I never said you had to pay for it.
You did, you tight thing.
I didn't. I said I'd charge you for it.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
No, it was supposed to be a clue, but it was wasted, wasn't it?
Try harder next time.
Fair enough. Now, the key to this is static charge.
OK, explain to me, please.
All right, then. Well, polystyrene charges up really easily with static electricity. You know, like a bit when you get a balloon and you rub it onto your T-shirt like that and it sticks?
Yeah.
It's like that. And what you've got to remember is that things can get charged up with either positive or negative charge. Now, two things with the same charge push away from each other. So, if you pass me that, thank you. I am going to charge up this plastic pea shooter so it has the same charge as the polystyrene balls.
Right.
Then, when I put it in between, it pushes them apart.
Very good. But hang on a minute. Can't you charge up anything plastic?
Maybe.
Excuse me.
There you go.
Thank you. So basically, you using that pea shooter was a bit of a con, wasn't it? You were just trying to trick me.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. You spotted it. The pea shooter was a decoy.
You're so mean.
Still one up to me, though. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ouch! That's nasty, that. On the next Big Bang.
A game for those of you with nerves of steel, and you have to be really skillful to win.
We'll show you how technology helped the artists of the past. It's all done with mirrors, you know.
And the space age high-tech den you can make at home. It's a dome of your own.
We'll see you next time
On the Big Bang.
Bye.